Hi, welcome to SBR TV. I'm Peter Loshak. This is our NFL Experts Roundtable, and right now we're going to be previewing the Wild Card games for the Wild Card round of the playoffs. We are joined by returning guests once again, Scott Cullen from SixCentSports.com and Dave Golikoff, senior sports columnist for AskMen.com. Thanks, guys, for being here again.
Thanks.
Thanks, Peter.
All right, so let's start with the first game, which is Houston and Cincinnati. Houston's a 3-point favorite. I thought Houston was a great bet here, and I see them now being juiced up a bit on Pinnacle, -3, -118. You know, Houston was able to rest their players last week a bit, so they might be in a better physical state here. And Cincinnati, as we've talked about a bit on these shows, is a very young team, so they're kind of wilting a bit down the stretch, even though they have some talented rookies in there. I'm thinking Houston -3. That's a bit of a short number. Scott, you seem like your approach would be able to have a good read on whether this number is a bit short. What do you think here?
Yeah, I agree, Peter. I think I've looked at this when I tried to analyze this, looking at only Houston games with T.J. Yates at quarterback, looking at all Cincinnati games, looking at all Cincinnati games on the road, Houston games at home with Yates, Houston games at home with Yates against playoff teams, Cincinnati against playoff teams, all that. So everything I look at shows me that Houston should probably be anywhere from a 4 to 7 point favorite in this game. So from that standpoint, I think there's some value in Houston. You add to the fact that Cincinnati hasn't beaten a playoff team this year. Their only win against a team over 500 was against Tennessee. They actually lost to Houston at home to this same team that will now have Andre Johnson playing. Now they're playing at home, laying a short number. That's a very favorable number for them. And then you just combine it with, Houston has a tremendous defense. They can run the ball down your throat. And the comforting thing here is if for some reason Yates just can't perform or he gets hurt again, I'm not a huge believer in Jake Delhomme, but he came in last week. He was serviceable. So I think they've got the better defense. They run the ball better. They've got a big-time receiver, even though A.J. Green's pretty good for Cincinnati. They're playing at home. They're laying a very short number. And all my analysis says there's value in that number. I think Houston makes sense for a pretty good play this week.
Yeah, I completely agree. Dave Golikoff, what do you make of this game? I mean, don't you think that, the line is creeping up, so I wouldn't be surprised if this closed at 5 or 6, but don't you think Cincinnati should be a bigger dog here?
Yeah, possibly. I just think that the handicappers, the public, or the odds makers are looking at this game, and I'm just explaining why the line, in my opinion, is where it is.
That's
is because the Texans finished the year with 3 straight losses.
Okay.
So I think that's why the line is where it is. But I like the Texans at home. They're 6-0 against the spread this season when the line is between +3 and -3 for them. And as Scott mentioned, the Bengals don't play great against teams above 500 or playoff teams this year. The Texans actually do. They're 5-1 against the spread against teams with a winning record this year. I'm just concerned about the Bengals' backfield. I don't think Cedric Benson's going to have a good day rushing. And when you look at that alone, you're going to put a rookie quarterback on the road without a running game. I think that's a concern. Throw in the fact that Andy Dalton was in the hospital last night, or was it the night before, with the flu. So he's, we don't even know if he's going to be 100%. So I think that's a concern. No running game, rookie quarterback, Texans with the better defense at home. I like the -3.
Yeah, great analysis. I think I'm liking Houston even more than when we started this call.